Hello guys, welcome back. Here is super easy, step-by-step, real-time cherry blossom tutorial for you. I hope you enjoy it and give it a try. Have fun creating. So I will start with the branch. I will be painting with my number 4 Princeton Neptune. So I'm gonna use burnt amber, alizarin crimson, with my perylene green. So I have really dark brown here, and I'm using 5x7 100% cotton Fabriana. I'm just gonna press it down my brush, drag it, wiggle a little bit, press it more, just wiggle to the left a little bit, to the right, press it down again, use my tip of the brush, make a twiggy, couple of branches, then go back again, use tip of my brush, just wiggle, do interesting twig here, go up, press it more, pull it up. Gonna go back to my color, gonna create another branch. First I'm gonna make this one a little thicker, go it back again, just press it lightly. Okay, for another one I'm just gonna press it all the way down, pull it up, make it thinner, wiggle wiggle, and just pull and pull. That was a little too much. I'm just gonna use my brush and tap it off. Gonna go back and just do a couple of smaller branches, and I will leave this loose one. Now let's create the flowers. I'm gonna use Opera Rose with tiny bit of cadmium red. Gonna water it down more, add more pink, and I'll be just creating 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 petals like so. Then I'm gonna clean my brush, top it off. I'm just gonna make the edges loose. Gonna go back to my mixture and just will be painting a few more flowers. So I'm using some Opera Rose, making some smaller. Gonna make it more interesting. I'm gonna add tiny bit of my cadmium yellow, and it's gonna give me that pretty, actually I'm gonna use yellow, lemon yellow. I'm just gonna dab in a few yellowish and gonna go back with my pink and start creating more flowers. So I'm making them in different size. So my top petals are larger and the small ones smaller at the bottom. So I'm gonna go and drop in a little bit of alizarin crimson in the center to make them more interesting. I'm gonna go with my pink again and just Gonna draw, gonna paint. Okay, let's add a little bit of cadmium red because these are like too bright. Gonna make them just 3 petals here, and I'm gonna paint some blues right here at the top. Just dab in. Gonna add a little bit of cadmium red, a little bit of pink, and right in the center alizarin crimson, my darkest red, like so. Now I'm gonna go back to my yellow and just drop in a few yellow that will create some orangey shade. So I'm gonna go and water it down. Gonna add a few splatters here. Gonna start painting some more of loose cherry blossoms here. So I'm just varying the consistency of my pigment. Some flowers more brighter, some have more watered down pigment here. Gonna make some buds here. So I'm just gonna fill it in with different shades of my pinks and reds here, using Opera Rose, using cadmium red light, and my darkest alizarin crimson, mostly at the tip of the bud, right where the bud starts. That's the darkest, and tops are lighter. I'm gonna go with my clean brush and just gonna soften some edges. Okay, let's add another branch here. I'm gonna use alizarin crimson with perylene green and make that brown again. Gonna use tip of the brush. Just gonna add a few like very wiggly and loose lines, and I'm gonna go back to my branch and just gonna add that darker brown to make that branch more interesting. Gonna add a few smaller twigs right here and there, just like so. And I'm going to my green, undersea green, tap off some wet pigment here, and just gonna dab in a few leaves with my brush, like so, just in some areas. And I'm gonna go and splatter a little bit as well. How pretty it is. I'm gonna go back to my number 10 larger brush, create more of that pink again. Gonna paint buds here, some flowers on this branch. Okay, let's do some 5 petals larger. 4 and 5. Let's drop in some yellow pigment, and with clean brush loosen up the edges, and on this one as well. I'm gonna go to my darkest alizarin crimson and to the center of the flower and just dab some darker shade. And on this one I would like to paint a few on this side. I'm just gonna go with some larger, more loose, like so. add cadmium red, so I'm varying the reds here and pinks and loosening up some edges. Okay, let me top it off. Okay, what do we have here? I would like to add some more green with my undersea green and make it brighter. I'm gonna go with my lemon yellow and add a few really bright yellowish green leaves here. Oh, it creates that fresh spring look right away. I'm gonna dab in some greens. Now in the very center of the flower, I'll go with my smaller brush again. Now here's my indigo. Make sure I have very thick pigment on my brush and dab in a few like tiny dabs in the middle of the flower. Actually, I'm gonna go with my smaller script brush, indigo, and some flowers, just dab, 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 and then just pull it out, create those interesting like script details in the center of the flower. Dab, 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 and just pull it, dab, 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 and pull a few, dab, dab, and pull a couple of petals, and on this one as well. I'm gonna go to my red again and just add another shade here right in the center. Just drop it in to create some depth here. So I'm using same colors, just adding more intense and darker value in the center. Dab, dab, dab. Now I'm gonna clean my brush, top it off, and soften, let it bleed. That's pretty. Just gonna dab in all of them to create that interesting gradient. Gonna go with darker brown again. Gonna go with alizarin crimson and perylene green. I have really dark brown. Just gonna add a few interesting branches here and there and create that beautiful contrasty darker value of my brown. Just dabbing in. And I would like to add another branch right here. Just feel something missing on this side though, so I'll just press it down, pull it, wiggle, 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 and just do that quick pull, lift, and just wiggle, lightly touching my paper. And I'm gonna create another one right from here and pull it like so, and dab in a few flowers on this branch as well, using same colors. Just dab, dab some loose cherry blossom flowers. Let's add some yellow here, create that orange, dab, dab, and now green again, undersea green, and just dab with tip of the brush, side of the brush, just splatter some on the side and more yellowish green to create that loose background around next to my pinks. Okay, I'm going back again with some more green on this side. I'm gonna water it down, push it with my brush, and just going around and adding that bright green in some areas. Just dab dab, just like so, and splatter. I'm covering my flowers with my hand so I don't get too much on them, and just adding those splatters, and that's about it. Gonna top in with some paper towel, create texture to lift some color. Okay, maybe go back with that brown again, just dab in some interesting darker values in some branches, and fix the bottom. So I need to create that color again with green. Just drag it in, just create that interesting textured branch. So I'm using just my squid brush and wiggling, making the branches uneven and adding that fine line. And just playing, dancing with my tiny brush. Okay, can stop now. I encourage you guys to paint the flowers intuitively without worrying too much about the shapes and details. Just enjoy, have fun, and relax, and check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching.